What's up, investors? Ken here from Dyslexic Investor. We're going to get right into this. We're going to be looking at some of the most shorted stocks currently in the market and jumping on what is meant by shorting and if it's worthwhile, and just looking at the technical sides and some of the fundamentals of everything. So I had read this wonderful article here from Market Watch here. I'll put this in the link down below. Basically, this is just a list of some of the biggest short floats within the Russell, and it breaks down by the highest percentage. So what it means by the short float is meaning how many outstanding shares there are, how many of those are short. So almost 60% of the outstanding shares of Match Group are short, but then you see its return of 61.37% year to date, and then you see the market cap of the company. And you go through here, you're like, a lot of names jump out. You have Steel. Steel has been been performing fairly bad due to a lot of the trade stuff. Energy hasn't been performing well. This is actually a company that we owned beginning of the year, which has been done terrible. Nordstrom, again, Nordstrom, Macy's, Wayfair. These are a lot of these consumer discretionaries. You can kind of see here it's highlighted here on what sector it is. Zillow, again, these have been up. Like you can see, Carvana has just been gangbusters, almost 180%. And it's a huge short float. But again, you can, once we start diving into some of these stocks, you'll see on how they've been performing overall. Like that, it's been substantially strong a lot of these times, because it's a short float. So shorts can only hold for so long because you have to pay a percentage of holding the float. And then on top of some of these monster moves that we've had in a lot of these companies, it's been very hard to do so. So that being said, we're going to kick this to the side. We're just going to jump right into the very first one, which was Match.com, or Match Group, sorry. So this is the people who own basically a lot of the dating sites. It's also known on who they own everything from OkCupid to Tinder to Match.com. So it's basically known as the dating site. So that being said, you can kind of see here that this is a yearly chart. I made these little trend lines pointing lower. It's kind of going lower. It's been trading sideways about the past week or so, past week and a half, maybe 2 weeks actually. This is the 10th of a little bit longer than that. Has had a pretty strong quarter, kind of gapped down and then making its way back up. It's a hard stock to gauge because again, it's a lot of competition out there. Like everyone's always said that they can just Facebook or whoever can just turn on and start their own dating app, which hasn't really started. So if you look this on a little longer time period of a week, like it has some pretty large ebb and flows here. You have the 21 crossing below the 8, which for me is kind of a beginning of, could be substantially more downtrend. These moving averages are starting to curl on the weekly, so that's kind of a good thing. To be honest, like I think there's other places that you can park your money into. Again, with this company, the short float of nearly 60%. The thing is, if it reports one good thing, this thing can easily go to 100. That's the kicker. With a lot of these short floats that are substantially huge, it's so easy for some good news to come out or something not as bad as expected. It can just go bonkers, and it just runs. It can just run. You can see it multiple times here where it's just been gangbusters. And a dividend here? That's okay. That's interesting. Never seen that before. Anyways, so that being said, that is the Match. That's the number one. Then we can go back to the list here. Another other company that stands out is Carvana, which I've heard of it before. They have that crazy tree, or what's that thing called? It's like a huge. Oh, I'm misspelling it. It's CV. CVNA. Nope, I put 2 C's. Fat fingers. Boop. There we go. Yeah, this has been gangbusters. Look at that. Again, I wouldn't want to buy. Again, it's all-time highs. Heavy short float of 35%. That's a pretty awesome looking chart, honestly. This could continue to run substantially higher. I wouldn't be putting these are a lot of these stocks that we're talking about here are very speculative, so this wouldn't be trading any near core position in any portfolio. This is just like a 25 or 50 basis points trades in a portfolio. So these are just substantially small positions that you want to kind of keep on a short leash. That's interesting. Like, this is a all-time highs, and this has a huge short float, but it's just been burning these guys. Another one that's been jumping out at me is kind of the same sector, which has happened with the Macy's parade, is of course our friend Macy's, and this chart just sums up everything. Below the 200, not be able to break out at all. Just been trading lower. This is a clearly just down and out stock. It is kind of forming a base down here. Let's go look at a longer time frame of a weekly chart. You can see here the low time here. It kind of formed a base. Kind of looks similar here. This would be a nice jab if you felt that things could go higher. It would be a very difficult position to say, yeah, but again, that 200 is so far up there. Below the 21, it's been having troubles on the weekly, even getting above it for the past year. Just been trading lower. This is this is actually one of the better shorts that they've had in this on this list. Another one that jumps out at me is Wayfair. So Wayfair is, if you're not familiar with it, they are a company that sells a lot of furniture and goods and home goods online. And again, this is clearly directed towards the China trade stuff. They get a lot of their stuff from China, and it's going to be becoming more difficult. I feel like this is a horrible quarter, like what happened here. Wow, that's terrible. They actually lost a lot of money. So last time I looked into this, like, this company spends a lot on advertising, and I think I've seen a couple ads already on local TV promoting this. I've bought a couple products in the past from them. I'm not an issue with them, but I think they're just a little bit overvalued for what they have, and I think this is a very, very, I wouldn't want to be digging in the bottom of the barrel for this, because you can see here the low is 78.59, and we're kind of in that range here. So there could be a double bottom potentially going higher, but on the weekly chart, this thing has just had swings, woes left and right. I wouldn't want to be touching this after a very bad quarter that it recently had. Would like to see it maybe another quarter performing a little bit better. Or if they have a super strong, because this is kind of a repeat if you look at this chart on a weekly chart. In November of 18, they had a horrible quarter. You can see here that everyone was predicting a horrible quarter. It traded lower for about 3 weeks. 1, 2, 3. We're at the 3-week marker now, and then that where it's kind of build a base. But it's been, again, this is super volatile stock for what it is. It's actually broken substantially lower than that it was here. This is nowhere near. This actually broke way up here before this even broke the quarter. Looking at this overall, it's gonna be. I don't want to bottom fish here, because this again. They could have a fantastic Christmas, and this is what happened here with everything. They just went gangbusters. This would be something interesting to put on your list of like a January 2020 trade, maybe looking to February or something like that. I would probably be looking at it but it's, again, it has a pretty substantial float of 26.37%. My bad, I misread that. It's 26.37%. So very interesting there. Another one that, of course, pops out at me is a huge short float, which is actually probably to no one's surprise, is Tesla. I know. People just want to short this because think it's overvalued, think electric cars are not going to go anywhere. I'm not sure on what these individuals are thinking. Tesla's clearly changing the way the automotive way is going. Evaluation or not, it's a great company and they're changing the world in a good way. Again, this is one of the charts that I look at a lot. It's a very difficult chart to analyze because it's just so many. It just depends on what is out there, who's writing about something, who's being tweeted. If there's the China stuff, if they have a fantastic quarter, now they're building in Germany, and now the Hong Kong factory's on plan and everything. Like, that being said, it's a super fantastic company to own if you have the courage and the stomach to deal with these huge swings up and down, because this has been a huge run up here, kind of topped off, which I had my line here where I figured it would top off around here and kind of come back, and it's been coming back to the 21 and holding it, and you see it flattening out, which is kind of a good sign. I would I currently don't have any positions in it. We bought it way back here and sold it into this quarter here. Fantastic returns for the portfolio. That being said, this would be something interesting to look at. So let's go look at a little bit of weekly chart. You kind of see here, huge. These are ups and downs. These almost looks like radio waves of how this just goes up and down, left and right. It's wow. Like, this is clearly in a range. You can see here, it's just stuck in this range. But my only concern is that I need this to kind of at least get up here. I think if we pull back here a little bit more, that we could have some good momentum going into the holiday season or the beginning of next year, maybe with the trade war coming to an end and something kind of a deal coming out, and then potentially going higher to like where my line is here around the 375, 376, 380 level up here, which would be fantastic. That being said, it's Tesla. Anything could really happen. Let's be honest, that's a very difficult stock to trade at times, and again, if you don't have the stomach for it, it's going to be very difficult. That being said, if you want to comment down below if you want me to analyze any more of these stocks that are on this list here, please leave it in the comments down below, and I'll be making a more video, or I'll post it on Instagram with a more detailed or something like that. I'm trying to build the Instagram up. I'm trying to do like a daily chart review and so forth. Again, guys, this is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor. Catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.